presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Florida.
Friday night, Bryce Harper opened the weekend with a bang and lifted the Nats. Yesterday, doubleheader day. Steven Strasburg was firing. Wilson Ramos was swinging. Another win. Beltway native Justin Bour blasted one. And Marcell Ozuna kept his burn rolling. The Fish put up 7 for a win in the second game. So today, it's Jose Day. He's won 3 straight. Nationals young gun Joe Ross beat Miami in early April. A 4-gamer ends today in D.C., Marlins and Nats. A lot of baseball in 45 hours here in our nation's capital. Nationals getting the first 2 of the 4-game set. Marlins winning the nightcap for the doubleheader yesterday. Come on into Nationals Park. Gorgeous day in D.C. as we play Game 4. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Preston Wilson. Let's start with Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna just gets hotter and hotter. It's been fun to watch his progress.
Well, I think if there's anybody who's really been drawn to Barry Bonds and his idea about hitting is Marcell Ozuna. Marcell's approach has been so consistent. He seems like he has an idea of what he's trying to do every at-bat a lot more often now, and it's a lot of fun to watch this young man flourish.
When he started this hit streak, he was hitting .218. Now he's well over 300. Ozuna just continues to drive in big runs, opposite field, up the middle, and he's the subject of our Toyota Inside Look. You see the season average right now at 313. He was actually at 196 all the way back on April 21st. That's the hitting portion. Let's go to the pitching portion of the show. Jose Fernandez, what did you see in last start? How does that translate to this start?
Last time out, I saw a guy that was much more aggressive with his fastball, using it a lot more often, not getting in too many deep counts by trying to trick everybody. Hopefully we'll get to see him again deep into the game today, because last time he got into the 7th.
Joe Ross has given up just 1 home run this year. Why is it so hard to hit one against this guy?
This young man's got good stuff. He's got movement, he's got velocity, and he's one of those new arms that everybody hasn't seen yet, but everybody's talking about.
You'll get to see him. It's Jose Day. Jose Fernandez, Joe Ross, Nationals, Marlins, Fish looking for a split on a busy weekend in the Beltway. First pitch of the ball game. Joe Ross to Derek Dietrich is a fastball for a strike, and this game is underway. Sunny skies, a few scattered clouds, chilly and windy. That's the forecast here in Washington, D.C. Derek Dietrich, Martin Prado, Christian Yelich. Ross, letter high strike. He's only 22. He turns 23 in about a week. And Ross right now at 3-2. He won his first 3 decisions, but he's lost his last 2 starts. Got knocked around by the Tigers his last time out. Dietrich pounds it foul, first base side. Dietrich, couple hits in this series. Of course, for the Marlins, finding a leadoff hitter and a second baseman in the absence of D. Gordon's PED suspension has been actually pretty smooth sailing. But Dietrich swings and misses, and a good breaking ball from Joe Ross. So there's one out. Lineup comes your way, and it's brought to you by UHealth Sports Medicine.
Derek Dietrich, Martin Prado, Christian Yelich are the top of the order. Giancarlo Stanton, Justin Bour, Marcell Ozuna are holding down the middle. JT Realmuto is 7th. Danny Echeverria is 8th, and Jose Fernandez, the kid, is batting 9th.
Here's Martin Prado. Prado continues his nice run. 3 hits and a walk in the nightcap. And Ross with that heavy sink. You can see that ball just dive as it comes in. There's your batting leaders as we start playing. Now, Daniel Murphy is not playing. He is ill. He was in the starting lineup, but Dusty Baker removed him about 2 hours before first pitch. Whether he's available to pinch hit or not, that's, I guess, to be determined, and obviously could change minute by minute.
Good pitch, good slider from Ross. He's got good stuff, good sinker, good slider. Well, when he locates well with that stuff, he's hard to handle.
Tapper out to short. Espinosa's back there today. He whips it to first in time, and Ross has the first 2 outs. Defensively, here are the Nationals, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Clint Robinson giving Jason Worth a day off, another day off out in left. Ben Revere in center. Bryce Harper's back in right. Anthony Rendon and Ryan Zimmerman on the corners. Stephen Drew fills the void left by Murphy at second. Espinosa with that beard is at short. And Wilson Ramos behind the plate. There's a look at Harper. He served his 1-game suspension last night. That was in game 2 of the doubleheader. Ross misses away to Christian Yelich. Yelich homered yesterday and doubled against Steven Strasburg. Had a back foot breaking ball that nearly got the back foot. Strasburg in game 1 of the doubleheader went 6 innings. Marlins got up for 3 runs, but the Nationals won the ball game 6-4. And a strike, and as we noted, Ross is not easy to lift against. He's given up just the 1 home run. This is start number 7. Hard to know what the Padres didn't like about this guy. He was sent to the Nationals in a 3-way trade. Trey Turner, the speedy shortstop out of Lake Worth, was also included in that, and all the Nationals had to give up was Steven Souza Jr.
Wow.
Yelich has a diving stop. Rendon on his feet, and he's out. Well, that's close. The Marlins will probably look at it, but Anthony Rendon, a terrific play at third base. The Nationals are still out on the field. Marlins will look at the video, and here's our first look. Ooh, he's safe, it looks like. Back of glove, and I think the ball, I think he gets there before the ball's in the front of the glove too.
Yeah, he's safe.
That's going to be a base hit you would expect for Christian Yelich.
It's always tough when you got a speedy runner like that. You're the infielder, because you can't really get much behind the throw in that backhand when you feel that backhand. So it's tough on the infield. That's a great play by Rendon, but pretty much did all he could do.
And the Marlins will challenge it. You know, I will say this, in the review process inside the Marlins video room, where Pat Shine resides, and he is one of the best in baseball at this. At this point of the ball game, with 2 outs in the first inning, you have to be extra sure that you are correct. Now, watching that look, it looks like Yelich's foot is down, but remember, it has to be 100%.
We'll see as the deliberations continue.
Larry Vanover, the crew chief, and the first base umpire, Chris Guccione. Whoa! Whoa! That is amazing. And I would expect it'll be a call stands. It is. So they did not have enough to overturn that. That's amazing. Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. By the Florida Department of Transportation, reminding you to drive sober or get pulled over. By your local Toyota dealers, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. In D.C., the Nationals and the Marlins. Here's the Nationals lineup, brought to you by UHealth Sports Medicine.
Well, Jose Fernandez will be battling Ben Revere leading off, Anthony Rendon with that great play batting second, Bryce Harper hitting third, Ryan Zimmerman, Clint Robinson, Wilson Ramos are the middle, Danny Espinosa, Stephen Drew, and Joe Ross are the bottom of the order.
Jose Fernandez, Ben Revere. And Jose's fastball misses up with Anthony Rendon and Bryce Harper coming up as well. Season numbers for Jose's won his last 3. And his numbers are dropping as he goes. His last start, terrific. And the right-hander with an economy of pitches, something the Marlins staff wanted to see. Jose beat Milwaukee by a score of 4-1. 110 pitches, and importantly, that stretched over 7 innings. Outside corner, and the count 2-2. Revere, 2 for 11 in his career against Jose, and he's trying to get his season jump start. He's just 4 for 39 on the season. High fastball and a pop. Yelich going after it. It lands on the warning track. Going back to that call at first base with Yelich, and I guess the key word there is you got to have clear and conclusive evidence to overturn that call. That's why the initial call is so important. And New York felt that there was not enough evidence to say he definitively got the foot on before. The ball hit the back of glove. Liner to center. Ozuna is there, and he makes the catch. But of course, the result is the Marlins have lost their challenge. Defensively, Southwest Airlines lines up the Marlins with Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton in the outfield. Prado and Bohr in the corners. Echevarria and Dietrich up the middle. And JT Realmuto is behind the plates. That's why that's a tricky challenge in the first inning on a play like that. Here's Rendon now. Couple hits, but 5 walks, and he has chewed up some pitch counts in this series.
This will be an interesting battle. Jose Fernandez has been battling pitch count issues. Anthony Rendon is a guy who's known to help run him up. One of our many side stories of the day, Rich.
There are many of them. When you have 4 games in 45 hours, there's a lot of storylines that zig and zag through all 4 games. Dietrich on to first in time, and Jose's got 2 outs.
I hope that Jose is happy about what's going on. I think as his pitching staff, as the coaching staff is, because he's throwing his fastball, and hey, that defense is behind you. And sometimes they might hit it, but they're going to hit it at your guys. And he's going to keep good. Last time he went deeper into the game, I hope that happens today. But you know, this is a maturation. And maybe being in an environment where you see a Steven Strasburg starting to pitch better, being more economical with his pitches, Scherzer, those guys, seeing what they do and realizing that you can reach that same level of accomplishment as a pitcher by just adapting a little bit more aggressiveness, using your fastball more.
All right, this is the matchup that is a great storyline, isn't it? Fernandez against Bryce Harper. Harper, who has been walked extensively lately. The Marlins have pitched cautiously to him in this series. He's walked 5 times. 23 walks over his last 9 games. And an on-base percentage of over 700.
All right. These 2 guys, they have mutual respect for each other, but they both want to be the one to win this battle. This is one of those young gun versus young gun battles.
That fastball didn't miss by much, even though Realmuto had it tick out of his glove. Counts 3-1. In fact, it didn't miss. Look at that. It's right in Fox tracks.
And the question is, how does the umpire not call that ball a strike?
Well, as an umpire, one of the things they've tried to do in the last 4 or 5 years is not dictate a strike by where the catcher sets his glove. But when the catcher sets out and has to reach across and not get it, sometimes that can really mess with an umpire's vision.
But is he not watching the flight of the ball?
Oftentimes he's set where the catcher sets, Preston. So if the catcher sets out, Alfonso Marquez will stay on his shoulder because he doesn't want to expose himself in that open spot between catcher and hitter.
As a hitter, I was always more understanding when an umpire missed away than when they missed in, because they're sitting up. They're sitting on the inside shoulder because that's where the protection is from. So for you to miss the pitch on the inside part of the plate, when that ball is all the baseballs on the plate, I got an issue with that.
Yeah, it's an optical illusion. It's not an easy job, but a break on that pitch. Jose missed on the next, and Harper's aboard. And here is Zimmerman now. Ryan Zimmerman in the cleanup spot. He was taken out of the cleanup spot for Daniel Murphy over the last 4 or 5 games. But Murphy is sick today, so Zimmerman is back behind Harper. And there's a look at Murphy. That's actually a good sign for the Nationals, the fact that he's even on the bench.
Yeah, well, you're hitting 400. You got to be pretty sick not to want to be out on the field.
That's right. And he is hitting 400. 403. He and Martin Prado 1 and 2 in the National League batting chase. Murphy has 4 hits in the 3 games so far in this series.
Good pitch.
Jose is 1 and 2 on Ryan Zimmerman.
Hung a little, but it was still moving towards the outside part of the plate. Stayed off the barrel. There it is.
Got him, breaking ball, and Jose looked sharp in the first. Underway in D.C. This ball game is scoreless. And is discussing that first inning. Jose and Real Muto both look sharp. Giancarlo Stanton against Joe Ross. Stanton bore Ozuna. Miami's second. And Stanton with a breaking ball that misses up. For Stanton, there have been peaks and there have been valleys in this 2016 season. Certainly the peak had to be the run that started with the home run in San Francisco through Los Angeles into Milwaukee, and then early in the homestand, the Marlins' last homestand. The pitch is in.
It just looks like his front side is opening up a little bit too soon right now. That front shoulder looks like it's flying. Those are just little things you can work out, though. You know, and when your front shoulder bails on you like that, you can't stay on that pitch.
No, and he's having trouble. He's 3 for his last 27 with 11 strikeouts. Has not driven in a run, and that spans 8 games.
Well, right now, the Nationals seem to have a clear game plan. Last night, they stayed about belt high on his hands all night, and then they would expand with the breaking ball. And I think that's their thing. They want to try to pitch him off the plate in and then expand with the slider because they don't want him to hit the ball on the plate middle away so he can get his arms extended. That's where that power comes in.
Stanton, a little tapper, back to Ross. And there's one out here in the second, and that brings up Justin Bour. We were talking on Marlins Live about what has transpired in 3 games. It was the home run, night of the home run in Game 1 on Friday. Bryce Harper, of course, hit a dramatic one, but 2 pinch hit homers sunk the fish. Steven Strasburg and Wilson Ramos in Game 2. But Justin Bour's homer yesterday was a big one. In the second game of the doubleheader, Bour blasted one up into that grass area. Well, you know what? It's probably not grass. It's probably field turf out there in center field, up in the batter's eye. Zimmerman goes a long way to get that one, and Bour is out. Marlins ended up last night with 7 runs on 11 hits. That Bour homer big, but so was Ozuna and Real Muto's 2-run singles in the 5th. And here is Ozuna. 14-game hit streak. 25 hits in those 14 games. And he scored 14 runs. It's the longest National League streak. Jackie Bradley Jr. at 20 is the longest in the American League.
So that's when you're facing the guy that throws that sinker, one of the things you have to do is see where the umpire is calling on the inside. You know, see if he's giving him that ball that runs off the plate just a little bit, because then you know where you are there, and then that way you can adjust for it. You know, do I need to look more on the plate because that sinker's going to run to the corner, or if he's calling a little bit more off the plate, then I got to be ready for that too with 2 strikes.
Along with his 2-run single yesterday, Ozuna also had a triple. That was in game 2. He had a pair of singles in game 1 and a 1-for-3 night on Friday night. Slider, it's a good one, and Ross has retired all 6 that he's faced. In D.C., second inning. A reminder, this copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Back to work for Jose Fernandez, Clint Robinson, Wilson Ramos, Danny Espinosa. Jose misses out. Robinson is the only National who has homered against Jose in the starting lineup, and it's fouled back and out of play. And there's the numbers surrounding Jose's start. There's some oddities here. This is only the second time he's pitched in this ballpark. That seems odd. Although it doesn't seem odd that he's had great success against the Nationals. Jose's 4-0 with a 105 earning in 7 career starts. Look at that.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, and he beat him on the 18th of April. Beat him 6-1. He gets a ground ball to second to Derek Dietrich.
I'm enjoying his aggressiveness in the strike zone. He's attacking these hitters. Not too many breaking balls early. See if they can hit your fastball first. This is a great start for Jose Fernandez so far.
Finding that fine line between staying aggressive but not getting over aggressive is something the Marlins have been trying to get Jose to walk or find. Here's Ramos now.
It's much easier said than done.
Oh yeah.
Because even though you want to back off their aggression, you still have to maintain the quality of the pitches. And that's not something that's easy to do for a young guy, to be a max effort guy his whole life and then all of a sudden try to throttle it back a little bit but still maintain movement and location.
Well, Bryce Harper has been pitched carefully too. Daniel Murphy, who's leading the league in hitting, and this guy, Wilson Ramos, have been the hottest hitters for the Nationals. You see Ramos, though, against Jose, just the one hit.
I think Jose will have a lot of success pitching Ramos in and up, kind of like they did Stanton yesterday, getting him sped up inside and then using that slider to expand the zone away. I think that would be the great attack for Ramos today.
Espinosa on deck. Jose out in front 1-2. That liner's going to find right field, a hit. Stanton scoops it up. And the first hit of the day belongs to the Nationals. If you'd like to watch a ballgame from a suite, you can do it, and you can rent it for just one game at Marlins Park from groups of 16 to 60. VIP service, exquisite food and beverage options. 1-877-MARLINS. Go to marlins.com/suites. Preston and I oftentimes try to crash the suites without success before a game. Liner to left. Yelich in full flight, reaches and has it. Near the wall, Yelich, great break, great angle, and he runs down Danny Espinosa's extra base attempt.
I love it. It was hard hit, yes, but it's a quick out. When you got a Gold Glove winning outfielder out there, sometimes you make them swing the bat. Those guys are going to make plays for you. We talked about it in the pregame today. Getting a little help from your friends. Not walking a lot of guys. When you throw the ball in the strike zone, you give this tremendous defense that the Miami Marlins have a chance to work for you. There's no defense for a base on balls.
Ramos at first. Here's Stephen Drew. And he takes out, and Drew played a pivotal role in the Friday night game with his two-run homer, a pinch hit homer against Brian Morris that erased a two-run Miami lead. Bryce Harper would then hit a two-run homer. Chris Heisey would hit a pinch hit homer, and the Nationals won the game.
Alfonso Marquez's strike zone has been floating a little bit. You know, what I mean by that is
bouncer to first. Bohr has it. U-turn, and he gets to the bag.
It moves around. It's kind of like the screensaver on your computer.
That's a good one. I like that. Is the presenting sponsor of Miami Marlins baseball. Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. Auto Nation Scouting Report. What you have on Joe Ross?
Joe Ross, athletic genes. Brother Tyson was a Padre, is a Padre. Sister Frankie, NCAA soccer. some mentor. Lockers next to Scherzer. Gets good tips from him. And got a birthday cake coming. Birthday on May 21st.
Yeah, it's amazing that those two, Tyson and Joe, coming out of Bishop O'Dowd High School in Oakland, both ended up Padres. Real Muto takes a strike.
His brother's pretty good too.
His brother is pretty good. And what the Padres are hoping is that they don't duplicate what the Dodgers did by trading away one part of a brother act. That one almost got Lenny Harris. Remember, the Dodgers had the Martinez brothers.
That's right.
And they decided to trade Pedro to the Expos.
Yeah.
Oh. Here's 1-2. Off the glove into center field. Good piece of hitting by JT Real Muto. Now, Pedro's older brother threw a no-hitter, was a good pitcher, but he's not in the Hall of Fame, and they could have had them both in their rotation for a long time.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you have to try to figure out which one looks better. You got to remember, Pedro was like 150 pounds.
That's true.
You know, he was the more slightly built of the two, and nobody knew that Pedro was going to turn into the monster that he became. But it's fun to see the sibling acts, if you will, in baseball right now. The Seagers, Corey Seager,
Kyle
Seager. It's fun to see that start to come back around again. It happened in baseball for a little while, but now you're starting to see it. It's fun. Every now and then you start to run into these family things. We had the Hairstons in baseball a little while ago.
A lot of Hairstons.
Yeah.
All right. Here is Echeverria. We've got one of the Drews here. They had, 3 Drews that were first-round draft picks. Pitch misses outside to Adeiny Echeverria. Marlins are hopeful, and certainly Adeiny Echeverria is included in that his bat perks up here. You can see through May 14th where he is right now. He had that really nice year last year. Oh for 8 with the 4 strikeouts in this series. Real Muto back with a dive.
Okay, note to you kids at home. If you have a lead at first and you dive back to the bag and you hit your chest on the base, you don't have a big enough lead. Now it's time, now when JT realizes that, now you need to stretch it out another half. He got back way too easily. And you always want to get as much as you can over there, because if it's a ground ball, you may beat that throw to second, maximize that lead.
How much does the lead change once you've seen a move from Ross?
Yeah, then you can straight, because you understand how quickly he turns, and you can get off another step. But that tells you when you get back that safely, you can get a full step, maybe 2 steps further, because that was way too easy. And JT will do it. He's a good base runner.
Echeverria shoots that foul. And it's 2-1. I mentioned earlier that Ross came to the Nationals along with Trey Turner, a speedy middle infielder, the pride of Lake Worth. And Trey Turner at AAA Syracuse has a slash line of 319, 381, 464 right now. And so he's having a nice year. And he's 14 of 14 in stolen bases.
A young man can run. I tell you, I was so amazed at his foot speed.
Echeverria inside outs it and somehow places it into right field for a hit.
Said it a couple games ago, Echeverria needs to get the ugly knocks. This is an ugly knock, but it's so needed. Sometimes these things can help get you going. He had no business swinging at this pitch, but he somehow fights it off and is able to throw it out there. That is the type of hit that helps a guy out who's struggling, can get you going. I feel good for him getting that knock.
He feels better than you. He was 0 for his last 15 before that ugly knock. And you can see Real Muto wasn't quite sure to make of that swing, and Zimmerman almost caught that ball. So JT is at second, and it sets up nicely for Jose with first and second and nobody out. The Marlins, whom Ross cut right through in the first 2 innings, have something going here in the third.
Chance for Jose to help himself out by getting the bunt down. That was actually a really good shot of Jose bunting. The one thing that they try to tell kids to do is to keep the bat head above the bat. See how his bat head is a little bit lower than his hands? Now he's got to raise it up and then try to jab at the ball. You want to start with the bat head a little bit higher than the knob of the bat. Better that time.
And a great bunt. Rendon will get the out. And the Marlins are set up now for a Derek Dietrich at bat with runners second and third.
That's a great view to see how he made an adjustment. The bat was, the barrel of the bat was above his hands, and the ball, and he didn't have to do any work. See that barrel's up there? Now you just let the ball hit the bat. You don't have to raise it up, drop the bat back down. Great job right there on adjustment by Jose. Good job on the camera crew getting us those shots. Very well done.
Well, Jose is hopeful that he's got a hand in a run or two with that bunt. Dietrich struck out back in the first. Ross, first time through the order. A couple of strikeouts, no walks, and the 2 singles from here in the third. The fastball buzzes him in. It's 1-0. The wind is blowing in the ballpark, and it right now looks to be from the left field foul pole across over to right field. So a left-handed hitter who puts it in the air might have some success. Check swing, no swing. Larry Vanover, the umpire, down at third.
This is one of those at bats where Dietrich is try to find something to drive in that left center gap, and if he stays there, he's more likely to stay off that slider in under his hands. And if you're looking to drive the ball, you're not looking down in his zone, so he's trying to pick on a high sinker right here.
Dietrich pops it up. Rendon, fighting the sun, makes the catch. That's a big out.
Yeah, that's a big out, and that's just one of those at bats that just gets away from you. I had plenty of them. Doesn't always work out the way you want it to. He did pick on a ball up in the zone, which was the right thing. It was just too close to him. And I believe it was a 2-0 count. That's the most disheartening thing, is because you're in control there. You can take a strike where you're not forced to swing at the pitcher's pitch, and Joe Ross was trying to tie him up right there, and he did a good job.
So it's up to Prado now to make this pay off. He bounced to short back in the first. And that one saved by Ramos. Realmuto at third base. He opened with a hit to center. Echeverria single to right. Perfect bunt by Jose.
Tell you what, this guy, Joe Ross, he looks like he knows how to pitch already for a guy that's only 22 years old. You know, he doesn't throw 95, 96. He's got a low 90s fastball. But he looks like he has a really good idea about pitching. Changing speeds, using both sides of the plates, being pretty good with his location.
Pitch is in. Both teams had to use their bullpen yesterday in the doubleheader. The Marlins went 9 1/3 innings out of their pen. Remember, Kendry Flores hurt his shoulder. But Dusty Baker had to go 7 innings in his bullpen. Prado gets a 3-0 pitch. And it's a strike on the inside part.
When you see a reliever getting at bat in the 7th inning, yeah,
Prado's not happy, but it was a strike.
I think Prado, that's one of those ones where it's a 3-0 count, and what you're doing is you're helping out your teammates right here, because Prado's seen some of those pitches that were called early in the game, and he has the stature in the veteran time in the big leagues to be able to talk to the umpire like that. Derek Dietrich can't do that, you know, so he has to be the one to take up that mantle for him.
And Prado pops it up. That's the same pitch that Ross got Dietrich on, and it's dropped. Oh my goodness, the Marlins will get 2 runs. Stephen Drew, who's playing for Daniel Murphy, battles the sun, lost it, and then couldn't catch it.
Wow.
And Miami gets 2 runs on a routine pop-up. And it's 2-0.
That is a lonely feeling when that ball's up in the air and you know it's coming down and you lose it. There's nothing you can do. A lot of guys will try to change their angle because you can't change the angle of the ball. You can work your way around the ball and hope you can find it, but man, that's rough. That's really rough. But good for the fish.
Here's Yelich now, and he takes in. Daniel Murphy was originally in the starting lineup. And you know, here's the odd thing. You would consider Drew a better defensive player than Murphy.
Yeah. You know, but that's one of those plays where that was a sun ball. It wasn't a ground ball or an errant throw. That's just absolutely not being able to see the baseball.
Yelich pulls a fastball wide of first.
And it's tough to remember when you're a player because you're so locked in on the ball. But as an outfielder, on those high fly pop-ups, when you have that sun field, you have to play it a little bit awkwardly. You have to play it where you get the ball where it's coming out of the sun, and really that's changing your angle. You know, maybe you move 5 feet in and then play it over your shoulder. It doesn't look good, but it gets the ball to work its way out of the sun.
That is the 14th error of the season by the Nationals. That's still the fewest in the National League. And that's the view from behind home plate. And we've seen all the fielders, the outfielders, infielders, whenever that ball is up in this ball game, you can see the glare of the sun right on their glasses. A strike. Yelich didn't like that.
Yeah, there goes that screensaver again.
Wow.
Come on, Marquez.
That's way out.
Yeah, that's we come back to the dugout and we say, hey, man, it's floating today. You got to stay with him. You don't know what he's going to call.
Here's a 2-2. Count full, 3-2. Stanton's on deck. Prado's at first. The Marlins have 2 runs on a drop pop-up by Stephen Drew. Prado runs, and Yelich strikes out. So Miami gets 2 and lead it 2-0. DC, sunny, that's a factor, and breezy, that may have been a factor as well. And Stephen Drew dropping the pop-up off the bat of Martin Prado. 2 runs scored as a result, and a 2-0 lead. Fernandez against Joe Ross, and his pop-up is out of play. This is the final game of four games in 45 hours. Day-night doubleheader yesterday, night game on Friday. Marlins will head to Philly. Nice catch by Jose there. There's the breeze. All the cranes that are hovering over this area, which has undergone so much transformation since this ballpark was built here. There's that's my favorite, because Preston, I was always told that you hung the moon, and there is actually a moon hanging from that crane.
Yeah, it's actually a sleeping bag, Rich. Somebody in there right now.
A lot of stuff going on in this area around Nationals Park. And it's Joe Ross who bangs a single into center.
Yeah, he did a good swing on it, but he had a breaking ball. I think this is one of those that just sat there and spun, and when you throw 95 and those things happen with a pitcher, it gets in you a little bit. And I know Jose is a little bit frustrated about giving up a hit on a breaking ball to the pitcher right there.
Top of the order, Ben Revere lined out back in the first. Then you've got Rendon, then you've got Harper. Ozuna. You can see outfielders too on fly balls, Preston. Their feet are moving a little more than usual, which tells you that wind is affecting balls up in the air. Now it's time for you to get your kit together. This summer, some of the biggest names in soccer converged in the United States for the 100th anniversary of one of the world's biggest tournaments. Coverage of Copa America Centenario begins June 3rd across the networks of Fox Sports. Here now is Rendon. He bounced to second back in the first. Obviously a Sunday filled with baseball in Major League Baseball. Night game tonight is the Cardinals and the Dodgers. Now this one is up. You can see the sun in Stanton's glasses and see where he actually caught that ball. He had to battle the sun, and then the wind took it to his left.
Well, it's a tough element. You have to keep your feet moving. You can't get to a dead standstill, because with the wind playing, you need to be able to make an adjustment. And you got the sun factor. So tough field for fly balls today.
All right, here's round two now. Jose against Harper. Harper walked in the first, but there was a pitch that was squarely in the strike zone that was not called. It would have been a third called strike. And Harper now in the series has walked 6 times. Jose starts him with a ball. It's 1-0.
And the Marlins, I wish they would have walked him 8 times.
There's a strike. Make baseball fun again, 2016.
He's got my vote, Rich.
I do too. I like watching him play, and I'm all for more fun.
And I think the fans are as well.
And I think what makes for a guy like Harper to kind of carry that flag is the fact that he's not a showboat guy.
No.
He plays extremely hard. In fact, the Nationals have had to try to back him off from playing so hard early in his career.
You should be allowed to have emotions in this game. You know, you see guys get thrown out of games for asking where the pitch was. It's an emotional game. You should be able to have emotions. You see pitchers wanting to drill guys because they hit a home run. So what? Why is it okay for a pitcher to hit a guy because they hit a home run? I mean, I understand if you say, well, oh, he's showing me up. Well, we see pitchers fist pumping all the time. And is he showing the batter up? Yeah, but nobody says anything about it.
Harper rips it right field. Stanton battling it, makes the catch. He put good wood on that. Jose Fernandez 3 scoreless innings and a 2-0 Miami lead.
First ever draft pick for the Nationals. He also has a field named after him. This is Ryan Zimmerman Field, which is located at a multi-sport recreational center just a few blocks away from Nationals Park. Zimmerman paired up with one of his sponsors, Under Armour, to pour thousands and thousands of dollars into renovating this facility. And for Zimmerman, he said this project was so important to him because young children learn so many important lessons by playing sports. And as you can see, there's not only a baseball field, there are soccer fields, basketball courts, and even a playground. So this is a great place for young children to come and play and learn sports and those important life lessons to be successful.
Jess, I'd agree with you. We come right by that field on our way into Nationals Park. And Stanton swings and misses. And Preston, it's been one of those fields where you look at it and it's been in disrepair. There were a couple of ball fields on there that really didn't get a lot of use. But they did a terrific job of making that not only a baseball field, they've got foul poles, lines, little base pads and all of that, but also you can play soccer on it, you can play youth football on it.
It's a great little facility. Oh,
Stanton, a liner, right field line.
Good Lord.
And it's foul. Giancarlo's swing has been a bit awkward today, but that's great contact there.
I was on Ryan Zimmerman's team when he first made it to the big leagues. I was here in Washington as a National, and he came up to the big leagues, and I saw this kid that could just absolutely hit.
Yeah, he was right out of the University of Virginia at that point. Spent like a brief month or two in the minor leagues, and then arrived as your teammate. Was 2005.
2005, when I think he hit like 400 that September. Could just hit, you know, nice swing, had that high leg kick, and ended up being a really good third baseman.
He was the face of the franchise for a long time. I think the torch has probably been passed to Bryce Harper now.
You're looking at 10 years plus and a few injuries. Had a really bad shoulder injury.
Stanton, left field. Robinson has it. And an out here in the fourth. Justin Bour, Marcell Ozuna coming up as well. Joe Ross thought he was out of trouble in the third. He gave up a couple hits to open the inning. Martin Prado with a 2-out pop-up that Stephen Drew lost in the sun. It bounced in and out of his glove. And the Marlins, by the time it stopped rolling, had 2 runs across. Now Bohr, and a fastball for a strike.
Well, both pitchers have been very good today, moving the ball around, keeping it down.
Tell you, one of the things that's impressive about Ross is it's not all about velocity with him. And as you pointed out, he can pitch. Look at that, 86.
Yeah, just
on the black or around the black.
Yeah, and he can reach 93, and he knows that. And it's really hard to get a young kid to understand that harder is not better.
Foul tip, Bohr still alive.
You know, because let's be honest, it feels good. It feels good to throw a ball hard. To be able to know you hit that velocity, like it boosts your ego. But if you could be more effective by throwing 90 instead of 93, you know, that's something that's a little hard to grasp sometimes.
Bohr, and it's fouled, but well struck. This is the biggest crowd of the weekend. The Marlins and the Nationals last night in the doubleheader played in front of 30,000, 28 in the first game of the doubleheader, and 28,000 on Friday night. This is a crowd of probably mid to high 30s. Out to center, and running it down is Ben Revere. 2 outs. Here's Ozuna. If you can't catch the game on television, just throw in your favorite device, and you can stream the game live on your mobile device with the new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app. Take Fox Sports Florida and the Marlins wherever you go. Here now is Ozuna. Haven't seen much of that in this 14-game streak, and that's chasing a fastball in the dirt.
Yeah, but that ball had a lot of late movement on it. Joe Ross he's surprising me. He is, to see the late movement on his ball. That's why it's so hard to guys to hit home runs off of him. He's got that late tail, and it's hard sink. When I don't know what San Diego why they thought it was okay to let this guy go.
No, and Trey Turner's pretty good too. Well, it was a 3-way deal. The Padres wanted Will Myers from the Rays, so the Nationals sent Steven Souza to Tampa Bay.
Right.
Tampa Bay then sent Myers with a few other pieces moving, but those were the main guys in the deal. Counts 2-2.
So his slider has been really nice today. It's tight, late breaking. It almost looks like a fastball till like the last 10 or 15 feet. Then it just darts down out of the strike zone.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Now you're down and away with the slider, up and in with the fastball. It may not be as sexy as the 15 strikeouts, but this is pretty pitching right here. This man is working well, and so is Jose today.
That one in. Nationals a first-place team in the East, and the Mets are no longer the second-place team in the East with that great collision at the plate finish. The Phillies beat the Reds last night. The Phillies are in second, 22-15.
What a throwback Adele, huh? Wow.
Marlins will see the Phillies tomorrow night. Now this is not routine. In the air, and Revere is there, and he makes a catch. Marlins done in the 4th. 2-0 Miami. Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. By Checkers, fast foodies know the deal. Thomas Jefferson wins the belt. Herbert Hoover, who's a Sunday addition to the race, was last.
He was struggling. Herbie got out the box kind of slow.
Yes, he did. Back to work now for Jose Fernandez.
I'm waiting for the ever popular Millard Fillmore to make this a presidential race, Rich.
You wonder if, as time goes by, if they're going to mix in every president. I mean, see, to me, that would be fun. Like Sunday would be Mystery President Day.
Yeah.
And just, pick an obscure president or, a recent president. Jose thought he had a strike. Zimmerman takes it down low. Count 2-1. Clint Robinson, Wilson Ramos follows Zimmerman.
That's a good fastball. Got in on the hands of Zimmerman. That ball has some late run to it.
By the way, the Phillies are trailing the Reds 2-0, bottom third. How about the Mets last night? Terry Collins ejected when a call did not go the Mets' way. In Colorado, the Rockies would win that ball game 7-4. Right center, Ozuna and Stanton, and they collide, and they're both down, and they're both injured, and the ball sits there on the track, and this is going to be an inside the park home run, and let's hope that Stanton and Ozuna are okay. Oh, goodness. Both outfielders went down, neither moved. The ball was drifting from center to right. Stanton is up, and Ozuna still down.
Yeah, when a right-hander hits that ball, it's going to tail back to the right fielder. That's just a tough play. They almost intersected at the same, at the same point with the ball. But those are not two small men.
And Ozuna is up. Mike Kozak, one of the Marlin trainers, looking at Ozuna. Those are two enormous impact players for Miami. Ozuna now trying to walk it off. Scary moment in right center field.
Oh, look, their feet collided, and Ozuna may have actually hit his head. Yep, look, he may have hit his head on the ground out there when he spun around. So watch their feet get tangled right here. The clicked feet, that throws both of them into a spin. Both of them hit the ground. Stanton bounces into the fence, and Ozuna bangs his head a little bit when he hits the track there. This should give you a really good look at it. Watch Ozuna when he goes down.
Oof.
Right there. See that?
Oh, boy, the impact of Stanton on the wall and then Ozuna on the track. Oh, man. God. I'm amazed that they're both out there.
Wow.
And Jose trying to make sure that both are all right. So the Nationals have a run. And it goes an inside the park home run for Ryan Zimmerman. Here is Robinson. And the impact of both those players is frightening.
Good changeup. Jose, with his slider, he's been coming out of it a little quick. He's been rushing with his breaking ball. It's been hanging up. You know, and even though you hit the ball and you got a home run, it affects that, one of your colleagues is out there laying on the ground.
Both guys right now are trying to move around just to test, I'm sure, different body parts. Ozuna's still looking at his arms. One-two, a swing and a miss.
Another slider, but he got away with it because it stayed away. But it's something that Jose's going to have to try to battle through. He doesn't have his breaking ball today, and he's rushing a little bit. It's coming out a little early instead of driving it out a little bit more forward. He's getting a better release point where he gets bite. He doesn't just get that spin and it doesn't do anything.
Maybe the true inventory for both players will be later on tonight or tomorrow morning.
Yes. Well, it'll be tonight when they get off the plane. And when you lay down in the bed, that's when you feel it. And then tomorrow morning, definitely. But when you have something like that and your body gets to cool down and also you get in altitude, that's when you feel it. Yeah. Oh, right now, where you're taking the bus, that's right. So you're sitting down stiffly on that bus.
Mm-hmm.
That's that'll be noticeable.
Here's Wilson Ramos. Breaking ball for a strike. So it's a 2-1 game, and all three runs have scored in odd circumstance. A dropped pop-up by Stephen Drew produced 2 runs for Miami. And that outfield collision allows Zimmerman to score on an inside-the-park home run.
Both teams have done a lot of things well. Elements have played a part in it.
Both pitchers
happenstance.
Both pitchers have looked good.
And both pitchers have done really well. You're absolutely right. And I will say this, even though Jose hasn't had his breaking ball, the fact that he's throwing his fastballs so convincingly and with such conviction, he's able to get swings and misses on the sliders.
Yeah, that's a better breaking ball. He buried that one.
That's the one that you want right there. That's a 2-strike breaking ball. That's a swing and miss breaking ball.
Host your next networking events prior to a Marlins game this season. You get a variety of meeting spaces, hospitality, entertainment, catering packages as well. 1-877-MARLINS. Go to marlins.com/groups. Espinoza now, who lined to left against Jose in the second. And the breaking ball misses down low. Ozuna made the last out. Stanton hit that inning, so they're not due up for a while. Dietrich gathers, flips to first in time. A scary moment in right center. The Nationals get a run. It's 2-1 Miami. when Giancarlo Stanton and Marcell Ozuna arrived back in the dugout, everybody over to make sure that both are okay. Jose Fernandez led that procession, and Ozuna showing everyone where he hit his head. Miami has a 2-1 lead, and they go to work against Joe Ross in the 5th. JT Realmuto, Danny Echeverria, and then Jose and a bouncer in the left. And Realmuto is 2 for 2 and has 2 of Miami's 3 hits. And this is the spot in the order that started that rally in the 3rd inning. And as I said, Stanton and Ozuna hit last inning, so they've got should have some time to collect themselves before they come to the plate. Echeverria snapped an 0 for 15 with a jam shot single to right. Perfect pitch right at the knees with sink. Ross 70 pitches, Jose 63 pitches. And remember, we talked about the bullpens who were used a lot yesterday on both sides in a day-night doubleheader. Marlins in their bullpen, Jose Urena not available. He was terrific, working both ends of the doubleheader in 3 innings in the 2nd game. That one's hit pretty well center field. Revere goes back, and he's there to make the catch. Realmuto has to retreat. Echeverria, it's one of the better balls he's hit in a while. Fish Family, the exclusive loyalty program of Marlin fans. Bonus code is 200. There it is, 200. On April 18th, the Marlins recorded their 200th win against the National/Expo franchise.
And we talked about the ugly hit that sometimes can get a guy going. That's the best swing we've seen from Echeverria in quite some time. And it just happens to come after he finds a little bit of luck, gets himself a little bit of help out there. Ball falls for him. Then, you know, it takes a little bit of pressure off. You can start doing things a little bit more free and easily. And mentally, it frees you up a little bit because you're not wondering when that knock is going to come.
Strike.
Come on, Jose, get yourself another one down. Great sack bunt, first at bat. Help yourself again.
Realmuto the runner at first. And Fernandez takes out, and it's 2-1. Another great bunt, this time first base side, and Ross will get the out. First one was up third base line, this one the other direction. And it gives Derek Dietrich a shot here with Realmuto in scoring position. Greater coverage of baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. Busy day yesterday. Big Papi, the game-winning double. Third player with 600 doubles, 500 homers. Of course, one of them in the ballpark, Barry Bonds. Jonathan Scope, 2 homers for the Orioles. They continue to win ball games. Mike Foltynewicz, last 2 starts, he's been really good for Atlanta, who's in need of some good news. All in the dirt. Yeah, the Braves, who won yesterday, are 9-26, and just 2-17 at home.
Yeah, it's rough when your performance is that poor in your home ballpark.
But a ray of sunshine with Fultonevich. Ross misses up. He's handled Dietrich, struck him out in the first, and at the juncture in the third with second and third and one out, popped him up on the infield.
On a 2-0 count, on just a pitch that he, couldn't handle. Now he's back in that same count with men in scoring position. Let's see what he gets here. It went back to that same spot.
He did. And rather than swing, Dietrich put the chicken wing up.
Yeah.
Watch that elbow. It's almost by reflex for Dietrich. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
He pulled it in. And the count's now 3-0. You got Prado on deck. Those two guys are in the ballpark, Espinosa and Dietrich. Realmuto, the runner at second.
Yeah, Dietrich, when you're a hitter and you're, a guy who can drive and runs, you feel like you let one get away last time. So now you got to do it. The last time you could have done it with a ground ball up the middle or a fly ball to the outfield. This time you got to do it the hard way, and you want to make that up. You want to drive in a run here.
That's up and in again. He went back to that happy spot for him. And Dietrich trots down to first. Good adjustment by Derek Dietrich during that at bat.
Yeah, and I think Ross was thinking right there, you know what, I got first base open. If I can get him to chase a pitch that I know he can't handle, I'm fine with that. If not, I get a fresh count with 2 outs to attack this next guy.
Very brief visit by Mike Maddox, pitching coach, new pitching coach for the Nationals. So first and second, and here's Prado, and watching Prado over the last, going back to actually August, he doesn't have too many at bats where he doesn't look comfortable, but a slow tapper to short and then the pop-up that was dropped. You're used to seeing Prado at least hit the ball with some substance on it. He's been that good for that long a stretch.
Yeah, you almost get spoiled.
You do.
With how well he's handled his at-bats, how many times he's barreled up the ball. You forget how hard it is to hit a baseball watching this guy when he's going well.
Without question. And he said he made a conscious change last year, late in the season, not worrying about pulling the ball, not worrying about home runs. More of an adjustment to Marlins Park, he said, and it's really worked. And it's all about staying middle, staying inside the ball, getting back to where he was at one point earlier in his career.
Well, you get to the point where either you can hit the ball hard and keep hitting, and pull the ball and keep getting warning track power in Marlins Park, or you can change your approach, hit the ball hard, and take some singles and doubles.
He's taken a lot of those. 0-2 here in a ballpark where historically he's hit the ball well.
You have to be very mentally strong to hit in Marlins Park, because there are a lot of things that you're going to get rewarded for in other ballparks you're not going to get rewarded for in Marlins Park.
Pitches out. Last 17 games in this ballpark. He's got 27 hits. Realmuto and Dietrich out on the base. That a soft little fly ball. The wind pushes it towards the line, and Harper runs it down for the final out of the fifth. Halfway through in D.C., and it's 2-1 Miami.
out at a spot called the Bullpen. This is located right outside of Nationals Park. It's a great place for people to come before or after the game, or hey, if you don't have a ticket, this is also a great place to hang out during the game. There are a ton of local food trucks. You can see there's a stage behind me. Sometimes this area will feature live bands, and look, I even found a Marlins fan in a Giancarlo Stanton shirt. So this is a great place for people who are just fans of baseball in general to come and hang out for a game here in DC.
All right, Jessica, braving the wind. It's a chilly day in DC. Bright and sunny, though. Jose Fernandez snaps off a breaking ball. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Change up. And it's 2-1 to Stephen True. Joe Ross, Ben Revere also scheduled.
Doubled up on the changeup.
They did.
But when you start guys out by showing them a lot of fastballs, then they get to that second and third at bat. They haven't seen the off-speed stuff. Now it's a challenge for them. But when you show a batter everything in his first at bat, it's so comfortable the rest of the way because there's nothing else that in your mind you feel like you don't know because you haven't seen.
He lost him. So Jose loses the number 8 hitter, a leadoff walk, the second he's issued. In Marlins history, this Geico moment, 8 straight hits, 11 hitters reaching base in a 7-run first, and the Marlins beat the Cardinals in '98. 8-7. Preston, were you involved in that '98 game?
No, I didn't make it up to the end of that year in '98. I actually was probably playing in New York in the big leagues about that time, though, because that was when I came up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Joe Ross singled. Obviously, he's trying to bunt and move Drew up. Prado, as you can see, left side of your picture, and Bohr, who's holding the runner, should come charging. There's the bunt. It's popped up, and it lands foul. It almost hit the runner. Well, there's a lot of things happening on that one play.
Yeah, ball gets popped up. Base runner has to realize he's going to get down to the ground. The bunter runner has to realize he's got to get down the line and not let the ball hit him.
So Ross is back at the plate. Drew is back at first. And it's 1-2.
Ross is jabbing at it a little bit. He's got a lot of bat motion right as the ball's about to make contact. It's a little bit harder to get your job done then.
Swing and a miss as he pulled back and swung the bat. Jose gets a strikeout. That tying run is still at first. Top of the order, and the Marlins Express can take you and your group to Marlins Park. And what a fun time this is. 30 or 50 person motor coach from a location of your choice. Starts at just $40. Marlins Express, 1-877-MARLINS, or email groups@marlins.com. Here is Ben Revere, who's lined out, flied out. Revere, I mean, track record will tell you that this isn't going to last. Revere is 4 for 41 to start his season.
When you start off your season with an injury, it's really tough because he never really got time to get into the groove. I believe it was the first game he got injured, and it just sets you back. It puts you back in spring training pretty much. because if you can't swing, you can't get those reps. You got to wait till that injury fully heals.
And you don't get another spring training.
No. There's no more penalty-free baseball. I mean, that's what, for a veteran, that's what spring training is. If you know you're going to make the team, everybody has belief in you. You don't have to wow everybody in spring training. You get yourself ready. You make sure you're in optimal shape to go when the season starts.
Well, you saw that Fox Tracks. Jose misses on all 4. So now you've got Rendon and then Harper with 2 runners on. And this becomes the most stressful inning so far for Jose.
You know, this is a moment where I believe you got to attack Rendon. You got to make him beat you. Try to get some good sinkers going. If you get ahead, then expand to that slider. Well, backup breaking ball works too. But you want to get, oh, that's a ball. But you want to get ahead. You know, try to put Rendon on the defensive. But you want him to swing the bat right here. Just try to force some bad contact. That's a really good slider. That may be the best mid-count slider that we've seen from Jose all day. Not the nasty in the dirt, but it, you know, stays in the strike zone, sharp break at the end. That's a really good pitch.
Three strikeouts for Jose.
Oh,
Outside corner. Rendon frozen, and Jose gets the strikeout.
Tell you what, those are 2 tremendous sliders back to back. You can't do anything with it if you hit it. They're on the plate. They're in the strike zone. Great pitching. Now you put yourself in a situation where you got 2 outs. If you do pitch around them, third base is open. You know, and I think you almost have to take that mentality. You have to say, Ryan Zimmerman hitting 220, you're going to beat us. Harper, if you swing the bat, you're going to have to chase something that you can't handle.
Well, let's see how it works out. Change up down low. Zimmerman, of course, hit the ball in the gap in right center, in which Ozuna and Stanton collided. He ended up with an inside the park homer. That's how the Nationals have their run. Harper walked in the first and then lined out hard to Stanton in the third. So he had 2 pretty good at bats, both identifying strikes and putting the bat on the ball. Drew and Revere out there. And it's 2-0. How hard is it for a guy like Jose, who is ultra aggressive, to back off in this case and not just say, I'm challenging this guy?
It's very hard. It's very hard because it's a matter of ego. The enemy of every baseball player is his ego. Whether it's a batter wanting to swing at pitches that he shouldn't, chasing, you know, and understanding the situation. A pitcher realizing when to back off a guy instead of challenging him, realizing when to not throw as hard rather than pitching.
So what was that visit about for Juan Nieves?
That visit was saying, look, you got him 2-0, or he's got you 2-0. We're not going to mess around here. Right? Don't give in to him. Don't give him something good to hit. Third base is a base, and that bait is unoccupied. It's okay to move the runners around, let Bryce Harper get on, but this is not the guy to beat you when he has control. No.
Well, let's see. Breaking ball strike. It's 2-1. Outside part of the plate.
And I think Harper is starting to come around to that realization as well. He's just that good that people are going to do this.
Liner into left. Yelich got it! Terrific catch. Difficult at him, tailing on a windy day in D.C., and Christian Yelich makes the play. To the plate, terrific play by Yelich. Jose Fernandez went right back in after Bryce Harper.
Great attack, making him beat you the other way, not just giving him a fastball to hit, even though it's a fastball count. Understanding that you got a gold glover out there among the rest of your great defensive players, and if you make the batters make bad contact, you're going to get some help. Harper hit that ball well, but you made him hit it where you wanted him to hit it.
So the lead remains. Yelich leads off. Stanton and Bohr to follow. The fastball is up, and it's 1-1 to Yelich, who was robbed of a hit on a diving play by Rendon, which was actually challenged by the Marlins unsuccessfully in the first inning. And then Yelich struck out in a contentious at-bat in the third. It will be the first at-bat for Stanton since he and Ozuna clipped each other, and both went down hard and stayed down for a long time. Yelich fights off a fastball up around his hands, and Revere makes a catch. Actually hit that ball pretty well. And so here's Stanton. If you're just joining us, that's a scary moment for the Marlins, and a moment in which the Nationals have their only run. Stanton in right, Ozuna in center. Zimmerman hit a tailing liner right between them. Stanton lifts that one to right field, hits it pretty well. Harper goes back at the track, and it's gone. Giancarlo opposite fields, and the Marlins stretch the lead to 3-1. I guess he's okay.
Yeah, he looks good to me, Rich. That's a great swing. Just stays with it. Doesn't try to do too much. And when you got power like him, if you can just square it up, good things are going to happen. Talked about that front side flying out earlier. Much more quiet with that front side there. Stayed on the ball a little bit better.
Here's Bohr. That's only the second home run that Joe Ross has given up all year. This is start number 7. It's tough to lift the ball against this guy.
Well, that was one of those high balls. I don't know if it was a sinker that was just up, but when a sinker baller throws a ball up, it hangs, and you can get it pretty good. There's not much action on it up in there, up at stop strike zone.
Bohr takes in.
Good changeup by Ross.
Counts 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Can't make a mistake to Justin Bohr, though. He loves hitting here.
High fastball and a high fly ball. Robinson makes the catch. Here was the collision from the 4th inning. Watch Stanton hit, bang, and Ozuna's head. Oof. And the ball laid between them. Zimmerman ended up with an inside the park home run. And these the first at bats. That was Ozuna showing his teammates right after that 4th inning. So this is Ozuna's first at bat since that. Stanton's first at bat resulted in his 11th home run of the season. And Ozuna cracks it into center field. I guess he's okay. I guess they're both okay.
Yeah.
That's 15 straight now for Ozuna. Longest hit streak in the National League.
Yeah, Joe Ross is starting to miss a little bit up in the zone with that sinker. You know, and a high sinker is just a bad fastball sometimes because it doesn't quite have the action. Good job by staying up the middle too. That ball's working its way in on him. Stayed with that approach hard up the middle. Joe Ross is sitting at 96 pitches right now, and it's starting to show because the ball is up in the strike zone a little bit more consistently.
Jose is at 84 pitches. As you pointed out, Ross is approaching 100. Real Muto's had 2 really nice at bats, 2 solid singles. 5 hits in this series. This is his 3rd game of the 4-game set. When you play 4 games in 45 hours, there really are no secrets by the time you get to the 4th game.
No, there are not. It's one of those things where you got to execute, because now you've seen everything the other team has. You just have to absolutely find a way to execute.
Because going into a series, teams are attacking hitters or pitchers based on the advanced scouting report, all the video that's watched. But as you get to the 4th game of the series, teams are adjusting to what they see in person as well.
Yes. You know, scouting reports can only help you so much. You know, you get to see what a guy's doing. I use the Daniel Murphy playoff scenario as a great example. Daniel Murphy was a hit the ball the other way, driving the gap type guy. When it came to the postseason, he got a little bit more on the plate and started looking in. Well, those first few teams in the playoffs were still going off that paper, and he hit all those home runs. The Dodgers got to the point, they're like, wait a second, what has happened? This guy looks different, you know.
The Royals.
Right. What I'm saying was the Dodgers, Cubs.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, all those guys.
Yeah.
He was beating them up. They're like, who is this guy?
Real Muto out into center field. It's going to fall for a hit. It's bobbled to 3rd. Coming home. Ozuna stopped, and the throw comes home. He probably was going to be out. Lenny Harris wanted to send him, and I think Ozuna thought better of that. I don't know that he scores, but here's a look at what happened. Real Muto's now 3 for 3.
Yeah, just gets a piece of it. You know, as a base runner, it's hard to do, but in this situation, you just got to run flat out and not assume that this ball is going to be touched. You just got to keep going. Like, you got to trust that third base coach that even though it makes no sense in the world that he's waving you, that you just have to keep going. It's his job to stop you. It's not your job to stop yourself.
All right, another visit from Mike Maddox to finish your story. You're right, the Dodgers were stunned that Murphy was a hero, and he continued on into the World Series, but that's where it stopped.
Right, and then the Royals were like, wait a second. You know, we got to throw these scouting reports out. We're going to pitch him back the other way. We're going to throw him more soft stuff, and then he cooled off. But that's one of the reasons why baseball people have to constantly fight the urge to want to play the game by just scouting reports alone. And they are very helpful. It gives you tendencies, it gives you ideas about what guys like to do, but you have to understand that that guy that's on the field that day may be a different player than when that scouting report was made.
You saw that number there. That's the first as Ollie Perez gets loose. That's the first outfield error of the season for the Nationals, and the error is on Revere. Real Muto gets a single, and the Nationals are going to say, all right, let's let Jose Fernandez try to beat us. Echeverria 1 for 2 with a line drive out. Now Jose hasn't been able to swing the bat. He has a pair of sacrifice bunts. But if you've watched Jose at all in his brief career, you know he relishes an opportunity like this. A guy that loves batting practice, has gotten much better as a hitter since he arrived in the major leagues. And he lines it in the gap, left center field. That's a hit. Ozuna scores, Rio Muto scores, and Jose Fernandez gives Miami a 5-1 lead.
That's coming up big. When they walk the guy in front of you, you know, hasn't really been swinging the bat well. He hit the ball hard as last time. But this is just another sinker that stays in the middle of the zone. And Jose, he's a competitor. He wants it. He likes that big spot, and he comes through. Hard hit ball, drives in 2 runs. I'll tell you what, for an all-around game, 2 sack bunts executed perfectly. Pitching, staying in the game late, moving the ball around, using his fastball early to set up the other stuff. This is one of those days where you look at Jose Fernandez and you go, keep this in mind. Remember this feeling.
5-1 Fish. Kendall Toyota called to the pen. Smile, big hit. Coors' timeless moment arrives on this date. Mark the Bird Fidrich, complete game 2-hitter in his first major league start. Ollie Perez arrives for the Nationals, and he gets Derek Dietrich. Miami with runners at the corners, and a sweeping breaking ball for a strike. Marlins getting 3 runs here in the 6th. The Stanton homer and the 2-out, 2-run single by Jose Fernandez after an intentional walk. That one clips Wilson Ramos.
I think he wore that one, looked like off the forearm, a foul tip. Oh, off the shoulder. Oof. So you want to be a catcher. That's one job I never wanted, Rich. I wanted no. You couldn't melt me and pour me in catcher's gear.
Dietrich walked in the 5th. 0 for 2 in this one, but behind 0-2 to the resilient Oliver Perez. Dietrich, and Zimmerman makes a nice short hop pick, saves a run and gets the out, but Miami puts up 3. Big day for Jose. It's 5-1.
A team that have so much history, and if you want to know anything about significant players or pivotal moments throughout the course of this franchise, then you need to make your way to the concourse leading up to the home plate gate. There are statues of players with different facts about them, and as you can see, monuments dedicated to different years from both the Senators, the Expos, and the Nationals. Significant moments that have taken place. And guys, just a little bit of a fun fact, in 2018 when the Nationals host the All-Star Game, it will be the 4th time that this franchise has done so.
All right, thank you. The Nationals, you're right, they were the Expos until 2005. A couple postseasons. The All-Star Game is coming after Miami has it. It'll be here. All right, here's Jose against Zimmerman. Of course, Tim Wallach. And we started this at the start of this series, the discussion where if the Expos were still at Montreal, I think his number is retired by now by the Expos.
Yes.
But there were only 4 numbers in Expos history that were retired. Wallach, I think the all-time hits leader, right? 5 yes. All-Star appearances, 3 Gold Gloves. Gary Carter, Andre Dawson, Rusty Staub, and Tim Raines, the numbers that were retired by the Expos. Zimmerman takes down low. Jose gets Zimmerman, Robinson, Ramos in the 6th. The pitch count, you can see it at 88.
Good pitch. I don't know how Zimmerman got a piece of that.
As you look at this start, and certainly there's a ways to go, and he's not done yet. He's been judicious with that slider and aggressive with the fastball. He's really thrown the changeup when he's needed it, especially that last out when Harper lined out to Yelich in left. And there's the slider. Are you happy with what you're seeing? Is this a progression from his last start, that really nice outing?
I'm happy with it. I'm just hoping that it's dawning on him that he can use his fastball more. He can save his secondary pitches for the 2nd and 3rd at bat for some of these hitters, and it's going to get him deeper into the game. He may suffer a dip in strikeout totals, but when you're a guy coming off Tommy John and you want to be the ace, you got to be more economical with your pitches. It's going to get you into the game deeper, fewer pitches, so you accomplish both goals. Not having as much stress put on your arm and helping your ball club more. And the one thing that's going to suffer is the strikeout totals, but you're going to be a better pitcher.
Well, he's taking care of the strikeout totals here in the 6th. This is, I think, the inning he says, you know what? He started with 5, he's got 7, and now there's 2 outs. Here comes Ramos. The Marlins bullpen was used a lot yesterday, but as Don Mattingly said before the ball game, he's got that back end lined up. Kyle Barraclough did not work yesterday. That was something the Marlins wanted to accomplish, and they were able to do that. They got a little work for David Phelps and A.J. Ramos to get them sharp. So all 3 of those guys are available. JT Realmuto having a little trouble getting the ball back to the mound. He's bounced a couple.
You know, and I think the other thing that Jose does is now when he's getting strikeouts, they're coming quicker.
That's a great point, because we just talked the other day about Scherzer and his 20 strikeout game. 8 of his strikeouts were 3-pitch at bats.
Yes, because you've established that fastball command. And now, once you get later on in the game, now these guys have something to think about. Okay, you're spotting the fastball, so now the breaking stuff that's close, they got to swing at it. When you're spraying the fastball all over the place, you don't really respect that breaking ball that's close because he hasn't been around it that much. So I think he may suffer strikeouts early, but later in the game, they start racking up. Look at this.
There you go. 13 pitches, punches out the side, 8 strikeouts, and the Marlins lead at 5-1 in D.C. So far for Jose Fernandez, the one run that scored the result of that outfield collision. Marlins are on the road, and it's off to Philly to face the red-hot Phils, the second-place Phils. That'll be a fun series. Tomorrow night we start at 6:30. Al Leiter will join me for 3 games in Philly. We start it with Marlins Live. Preston will pass the baton off.
Yep, it'll be up to my buddy Al to go ahead and pull in the reins. Last time I gave the team to Eduardo, I don't know what happened when I left, but I think Al will take care of it a little better this time.
You know, the impressive thing, we were just talking about Jose and how he's approached his last couple of starts. That fastball that finished that inning is the hardest he's thrown, 97 miles an hour. That's his top end. And you get a sense that there's more in the tank, and there may be more on the dial if he wanted to tweak it and dial it up just a little bit more.
I'm so impressed. I know I feel like I'm just like this proud uncle right now, watching him have this success in this ball game, and he's not working so hard. He's not laboring to get through these innings.
Prado lifts a pop-up that ends up out of play. Now Prado, as you see, Michael Taylor in center field. Ben Revere is in left. Yusmeiro Petit is on the mound, and he misses outside. So Revere just slides over to the left. Petit, the durable one-time Marlin, not for long, but I think he came in the Carlos Delgado trade from the Mets. Obviously, I should look those things up before I say them, right? That would be wise.
You know, Rich, we're talking about the Nationals honoring their franchise of the Senators. They also honor the Negro League teams that played in this area, the Homestead Grays. One of my all-time favorite, Josh Gibson.
There's a line drive. Prado has another hit. That went into left center. And he leads off the 7th with a single. That is an affirmative on the Yusmeiro Petit with Mike Jacobs and Grant Somas for Carlos Delgado. So Prado has a hit. Yelich and Stanton are scheduled here in the 7th. There's your Homestead Grays.
Buck Leonard.
There's Josh Gibson.
Oh yeah.
Some consider, I mean, look, you talk about Willie Mays and Bonds and all those guys. Some consider Gibson to be the greatest power hitter ever.
They say he was the most prolific power hitter that anyone's seen. Just didn't get to be seen by the major leagues.
He was like,
just a big, strong, left-handed hitting catcher.
I think he was on that list in that great soundbite from Buck O'Neill in the Ken Burns documentary of the sound of the ball off the bat. And when he said O'Neill, who'd been the late Buck O'Neill, when he started that list of guys, the first time he heard it, it was Babe Ruth. I think the next time he heard it, it was Josh Gibson. And the last time he heard it was Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
He never, of course, got to see Stanton or hear Stanton off the bat. That's a double play. Nicely turned. Espinosa to Drew to Zimmerman.
Espinosa's played a stellar shortstop this series.
MLB.TV Premium. It's the #1 live streaming sports service available every out-of-market game. Cool music like this, too, before the game starts. Over 400 supported devices. MLB.TV Premium includes free subscription to At-Bat Premium. Here is Stanton, a home run to right. We talked about the wind blowing from left to right. Stanton got it up into that, and Harper got to the wall. It sailed into the bullpen. And here it is.
Stayed on it well enough. Got a little help. And he hasn't hit many cheap home runs. That may have been the most wind-aided I've ever seen him hit one. But you still got to hit it good.
Stanton drives that left center, and running it down is Taylor in the gap. He can really go get him in center field. Marlins done in the seventh inning stretch, 5-1. Fish. In Washington, D.C., that 61 degrees doesn't really tell the story. It's windy, and it's chilly. You see the folks with their jackets on. 5-1, Marlins on top. What you didn't see in that video montage was that scary collision between Marcell Ozuna and Giancarlo Stanton. That was the only run that the Nationals have in this game. You saw the Stanton home run. Ozuna, in his at-bat after the collision, had a single. So both guys with hits after they collided.
Good to see.
And they've stayed in the ball game. Off to Philly. This is going to be a really interesting series. Let's see if Adam Conley can bounce back from a rough start last time. Jared Eichhoff goes for Philly. First trip to Philly on the season. Al Leiter and the Fanatic will be waiting for us when we get there. And Jose Fernandez goes to work. Bottom 7. Here's a look at Conley. Phillies have been playing so well. They had an incredible finish yesterday with the play at the plate. One of the, maybe the most violent collision you'll see since the new collision rules were enacted somewhat. Tyler Goodell throw to the plate. Cameron Rupp is the catcher who made the catch and prevented the tying run from scoring, and it was the last out of the ball game.
That was an exciting play. Great throw by the left fielder. Good job of scooping and tagging by the catcher. That was an exciting play from beginning to end.
Danny Espinosa flips one foul. Espinosa, Stephen Drew, and then Michael Taylor, who came in that double switch. Taylor's in the 9 spot. Phelps starts to loosen. The Marlins would like to be able to bring him in to a clean inning in the 8th. Jose approaches 100. Pitches, not miles per hour, though he's topped out at 97. It's 0-2. Fernandez struck out the side in the 6th on just 13 pitches. Zimmerman, Robinson, Ramos.
It's just such a different game to have him on the mound in the 7th inning. It really is. Everything sets up for Mattingly so much easier in that bullpen.
Oh, that looked like a pretty good pitch. And it's in. Jose grimacing. It's a great pitch. That's a strike.
It's a tough day for a pitcher and a hitter when the strike zone for the umpires like this. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
A liner in the right center field, and that's a hit. It's going to go to the track, to the wall, and Ozuna picks it up.
Change up right there. Didn't quite get it where he wanted to. Espinosa does a good job staying on it, driving that ball in the gap, kept his swing going. He's a little out front, but he stays with it.
And so Jose now goes after Stephen Drew with Espinosa, the runner, at second.
And honestly, Jose really needs to approach this at bat like there's nobody on. He's just got to go right after this guy. Because so what if he gets a bit, but you can't start walking guys. Go right after him. There you go.
That one missed out. You got Taylor on deck, and then it's top of the order. Phelps getting to the point where if he had to heat up completely, he would do it. Marlins have Kyle Barraclough available. He did not pitch yesterday. A day off certainly for Brian Morris, who pitched in both ends of the doubleheader and pitched on Friday night. And of course, Jose Urena pitched in both games yesterday. And the Marlins, just to bring up an extra arm, brought up Harlan Garcia. Garcia, left-hander. He was a starter in Double-A Jacksonville. Kendrick Flores returns as the 26th man, and Nick Wittgren goes out to get Garcia on the roster.
Harlan Garcia was a player that we highlighted last year on Marlins Clubhouse. So if you get a chance to watch, you get to see some of these young kids before they make it to the ball club. Very exciting young arm for the Marlins.
Count full 3-2. And Real Muto on his way out to talk to Jose. At 107 pitches, he got him with a breaking ball. And you know Jose wants to finish this inning. Here comes Taylor. Well, if you look, and the Marlins are one of the teams that, and most teams do track this now, if you look for stressful innings in this ball game, the only one I can find is the 5th. He walked a couple, and remember, had Harper in that last at bat. Line one to left. Yelich made the nice running, diving catch.
He looks fresh right now, and I know he's 100+ pitches in, but he looks strong. He looks fresh.
0-1 to Michael Taylor. First at bat for Taylor. In a double switch. And you're right, Preston, your observation that he's saved the secondary pitches, especially the breaking ball, for the later at bats.
As a hitter, it's so hard to go into your second and third at bat knowing that the pitcher has stuff that you haven't seen yet.
Michael Taylor strikes out. 10 strikeouts for Jose.
This is just old number one right here. 96, top of the strike zone. Here you go, try and hit it.
Here's the thing too with Jose today and the way he's worked, he's still getting a boatload of strikeouts. His strikeouts per 9 innings is just under 13. 12.8 coming in. That's best among qualified pitchers in Major League Baseball.
This game, the way he's pitched, he's forced the Nationals to swing the bat early in the count. So they're not up there taking, and he's having to go deep in the count because they're seeing so many pitches. He started out by establishing the fastball, throwing strikes, and as a hitter, you don't want to get behind. So what do? You swing the bat earlier.
You see Jose on top of that list. A lot of great pitchers in that top 5. So I guess early action isn't necessarily contact.
Right, no, it doesn't have to be, but even though you may get some contact outs early, that's going to lead to strikeouts late because guys are going to be swinging more often. When you look at the first 2 batters of the game, they both took the first 2 pitches, and they were behind in the count because the book is out on Jose that, hey, he may mess around throwing a lot of stuff, and he will fall behind. Not today. He got ahead early, throwing quality strikes. Then all of a sudden, they start swinging 2 pitch at bats, 3 pitch at bats, and it works in your favor later in the game.
1 and 2 on Ben Revere, who steps out. Just missed.
He almost looks like he's gotten sharper these last 2 innings.
He's got 10 strikeouts.
I mean, he seems to be executing in the exact manner that he wants to with each pitch these last 2 innings. 9
strikeouts his last 4 innings. And that changeup misses outside.
And it's the idea of he gets ahead and he's expanding, running it off the plate there with the changeup, down with the slider, up with the fastball.
See what he goes with. 3-2. Got him. 11 strikeouts for Jose Fernandez. 7 very nice innings. And the Marlins in D.C. have a 5-1 lead into the 8th. Fernandez still pacing in the dugout. 10 of the last 12 outs for Jose, strikeouts, and he's done. 117 pitches is a career high for Jose. But as we talked about, stressful innings, just one, and that was the 5th. Here's Justin Bour against Yasmero Petit. Good changeup for a strike, and it's 0-2. Marlins have a 5-1 lead. The Nationals' only run came in the wake of that scary collision between Giancarlo Stanton and Marcell Ozuna in right. The ball sat on the track while Ryan Zimmerman circled the bases. Both Stanton and Ozuna were down for a long time. Stanton slammed into the cyclone fence in front of the scoreboard. Ozuna banged his head on the warning track. They stayed in the game, and then they impacted the game with Stanton homering in the 6th, Ozuna singling and then scoring on Jose Fernandez 2-run single. Yeah, we forgot to mention Jose's 2-run single to complete his day. 5-1 Fish in the 8th. And Bour drives that right center field. Taylor makes the catch. If you join the Fish family today, you can do it by looking into a Marlins season ticket plan. Pro-rated full season plans start at just $6 a game. Half season plans, 3 great 20-game mini plans. 2017 All-Star Game at Marlins Park, and you'll get access with a season ticket plan. Marlins.com/season tickets. Here is Ozuna. Marcell has extended the longest hit streak in the National League to 15 games with that base hit in the 6th. It's a soft fly ball. Taylor and Petit has 2 outs. Here comes JT Realmuto. Well, David Phelps is warm now. He's really heated up to the point where he's ready to come in the game. Jose done for the day, and the back end of the Marlins pen has a 4-run lead to protect. Realmuto, a busy day, not only catching Jose, but he's 3 for 3, moving his average back over 300. He's at 317. Phillies are going down right now 7-0. The Reds are on top, mid-6. That's certainly good news for the Fish. Reds beating them. And in Colorado, the Mets are warming up. Mets and Rockies finish that series. Phillies in 2nd, Mets in 3rd. Marlins a close 4th. And Realmuto strikes out. Yasmero Petit, 2 scoreless innings. David Phelps in the bullpen takes over.
have played at this ballpark since 2008, and if you come to Nationals Park, one benefit, not only do you get to take in a ball game, you also get a spectacular view of Washington, D.C. If you come up to section 230, you can see behind me the Washington Monument. You can also take in a view of the Capitol building. And guys, I know from where you're watching the game, you get a spectacular view as well.
Well, you got to come up to the 8th floor to get to where we are.
Up a little higher. There we go. I'll even stand up for a second. Wait a second. There we go. We're all the way up here.
We are a long way up.
And I can't move too much because my nose is starting to bleed. Hold on a second.
And so we have a great view over there of the Capitol building there, the White House and the Washington Monument just beyond that. The playing field is down there a long ways. And now the Marlins, you can see Miguel Rojas taking a look at the sun. He's got the glasses on. David Phelps is in. Marlins will make a double switch. With the Rojas in. And Phelps throws a strike on the outside corner. My bad, that's straight up actually. So put Rojas in the 5 spot in Bohr's position. And Phelps right now is hitting 9th. And oftentimes you find it, a 8th inning guy gets a tougher run than the 9th inning guy if everything holds true to form, as Phelps gets Rendon, Harper, Zimmerman. 2 through 4 in the Nationals order. Remember, Daniel Murphy sick today. He was taken out of the lineup about an hour and a half before game time. He was on the bench to start the game. Liner, right field, and foul. Rendon is 0 for 3. The run for the Nationals again. Zimmerman an inside the park homer in the 4th. Phelps has been outstanding from the pen, and a breaking ball into left field. That's a hit. So Rendon is on, and here's Harper now. Now this is one of those cases I know that you have, and Joe Madden certainly showed it. You've preached, hey, don't let Harper beat you. But isn't this a case where you got to go right after him? You're up 4. It's the 8th.
Yeah, you go after him. You definitely do. I mean, he can't tie the ball game up right here, but you still want to be smart about how you do it. You know, going after him means throw strikes, but try to do it in a way where it's not a home run, which sometimes it's a lot easier said than done. But you have to pitch with the mentality of where's he least likely to do the most damage.
Well, Jose threw a great changeup on the outside part to get him in a key out to finish the 5th. Phelps gets a strike, and it's 1-1. Harper hit a hard line drive out to Stanton in the 3rd, and Fernandez walked him in the 1st, but there was a pitch in that sequence with 2 strikes that was right in the middle, well, not in the middle, but very close to the middle of Fox tracks. It wasn't called a strike, and then Jose walked him. So it wasn't as if Jose was pitching around him in that at bat in the 1st.
The problem that the Nationals are having right now is, even though when you do walk Harper, the bottom of the lineup has not driven in a lot of runs lately. So once you get past him, that's why they moved Murphy into that spot behind Harper, saying, well, if you're going to walk, we're going to get somebody that's swinging the bat well to put there. Well, that has not been the case for the Nationals.
Got him outside corner. Phelps catches the black.
Great job of pitching, stayed away. If you're going to beat us, Bryce Harper, you're going to beat us to your off-field side. Jose Fernandez did it with the changeup, got a little help there with the fastball up and away, but that's the right approach.
Yeah, he did get help. Harper had a beef but didn't make one. And so Phelps puts it in the perfect spot.
Screensaver.
Come on, how many people have screensavers these days?
Hey, they're still out there, Rich. There's somebody out there still waiting for that thing to hit directly in the corner, too.
Ryan Zimmerman has struck out twice. And Phelps gets a strike. Rendon the runner at first.
Everybody clap your hands.
1-2. So Miami is headed to Philly. The Nationals have an off day and they're going to the Mets. Pitch misses out. This has been a crisply played game, save the ball that was lost in the sun by Drew. So much so that Preston's score sheet is as good as I've seen it this year. You are really coming along, my friend. It's descriptive. The letters and numbers jump right off the page.
You know, I took it personally, not because you looked at my scorecard and thought it was bad. I felt because you looked at it and I saw pity in your eyes, Rich. That's what really hurt. It was a pity that you looked at with my scorecard.
Zimmerman into right field. That's a hit. Stanton knocks it down and picks it up. Rendon's going to get to third. And the Nationals have runners at the corners now.
That's one of those tough plays for Stanton because this ball is hit so hard, there's no way the runner's going to go from first to third on you, especially not with your arm. So you got to make sure that you look this thing all the way in. And he just didn't look it all the way in, hit off his glove, and now you got the runner going to third when he shouldn't have.
Chris Heisey is going to pinch hit here. Pitch a penny. Proud to be the official sponsor of pinch hitters everywhere. But Heisey is a dangerous guy. We talked about his ability to hit home runs as a pinch hitter. Most in baseball among active hitters since 2010. He's a modern day right-handed Matt Stairs.
You know, when you're a fly ball hitter and you get to play in ballparks like Cincinnati, like that's a ball player fitting that environment.
14 pinch hit homers.
You know, and when you're Dusty Baker and you saw him in Cincinnati, you realize what a valuable piece he is. You bring him over here with you.
Giancarlo Stanton's going to get an error on that ball at the knees, and it's 1-2. And that error allows Rendon to go to third, so it's a single E9. More importantly now, Albert claws up. 1-2 the count to Heisey. Check swing, no swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Heisey cranked one out of here Friday. That's close. Got him. Just throwing heat. 94. Heisey strikes out. Another guy with power comes up. Wilson Ramos.
Good fastball by Phelps. But tell you what, in this role in the 8th inning, he's really just letting it turning it loose. Ball's jumping out of his hand.
David Phelps in relief of Jose Fernandez. Bottom 8 in Washington, D.C. Now the Marlins and the Nationals had played 2 series already before this one, and they've split both right down the middle. A 4-gamer in Miami, a 2-gamer here. So another 4-gamer here, and if Miami wins this game, this one will get split right down the middle. Counts 0-2. Phelps ready. Jam shot. And it stays 0-2 to Ramos. There's your National League East. Phillies are losing. Mets are just starting. Marlins trying to get to Philly at 3 games over. And Phelps elevates a fastball, strikes out Ramos, strikes out 3 in the 8th. 5-1 still to the 9th. Baseball on Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. Five runs, 8 hits for the Marlins. A run on 6 hits for the Nationals. Jose Fernandez went 7, struck out 11. Marlins here in the 9th will see a new right-hander, Blake Trinan. Trinan becomes the 3rd out of Dusty Baker's bullpen. Oliver Perez, Yusmeiro Petit. And now Trinan. This was a Joe Ross start. 5 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, 3 earns. He walked a couple. He struck out 3. Echeverria, a strike. Ross had given up just 1 homer in his 6 previous starts, and he gave up a home run in this one to Giancarlo Stanton. No shame in that.
That's totally understandable.
Echeverria takes down low. Etch snapped an 0 for 15 with a base hit, scored a run in the 3rd. That 3rd inning is really got the Marlins to a nice start, and that was the drop pop-up by Stephen Drew with 2 outs when he lost it in the sun. The wind didn't help either, and 2 runs came across.
That was a really tough break. He'd have been out of that inning clean.
Let's 3-1. Got to get that glove on.
Etches got a hard hit ball today, got himself a nice knock, bloop single over first base. Now he's got himself a good count. Let's see what he does right here.
Little tapper, and he couldn't have rolled it out there any better.
That's a knock. I like it. Hey, 2 ugly hits, 1 hard hit ball. That's the beginning of something. You got to take your good things where they come. You might not have hit it hard, but you hit it in the right place. Run hard through the bag right here. Get yourself a knock. And a week from now, it looks like you squared up 2 line drives.
If things start rolling, they will go back to this day and they'll say from, where are we, the 15th of May? From the 15th of May on.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised.
Here's Ichiro with a pinch hitting appearance. And Ichiro takes outs.
Good hitters get ugly hits. That's just a fact of the game. And when you're able to get those to go along with the good things you do.
Ichiro at 2,948 hits. So he's 52 away from 3,000. Drops the bunt. Perfectly done. Ramos spinning. Gets him. And the Marlins move Echeverria to second on a sacrifice bunt by Ichiro.
He's just so fundamentally sound. See how he has the barrel above the ball right there, just catches it right on the barrel. He's so good at so many parts of the game. Having him on your ball club should make everybody who steps on the field better because he does so many things well.
And that's a guy, Ozuna, who I think has really benefited from having Ichiro around. Those two bonded last year in spring training. Dietrich now with 1 out, chance to add a run. Trinan has that good run on 94.
Yeah, it's hard, it's heavy. He's one of those guys that when he's on and you see him come out of the bullpen, you're like, he's got to make a mistake because when his ball moves with so much life.
Into the seats. Dietrich looking for a hit today. He's 0 for 3. Derek's parents up from Cleveland.
They got to be really, really proud of this young man. He's come a long way, went through some adversity, figured it out a little bit, playing really well, doing a great job to help this ball club.
Shoots that one foul, third base side.
I mean, you knew the power was there. He's always had a very quick bat. But now you're starting to see the evolution of him driving the ball the other way, taking that single and double in that left center gap a little bit more often, taking those base hits to left, and the power's still there. He'll still pull you out to right, hit you to center.
On base percentage right around 400. And he swings and misses that one. Here comes Martin Prado now. Prado a 1 for 4. It was his pop-up that was dropped by Drew. In Miami's bullpen, it's Kyle Barraclough who's warming up.
Yeah, not Ramos.
Right. I mean, it's a 4-run game, but oftentimes in that spot, Don Mattingly has had AJ up. And this may be an opportunity for Barraclough to try to finish the game, not a save situation, right. Obviously.
Well, and I think this way to do this the right way. I think
Well, you hope that you need Ramos in Philly, right? A lot.
Yes. Yes.
And that, I think, is the importance of getting Ramos work yesterday to try to keep him sharp. Phelps worked yesterday for an inning. He looked sharp in this one. 2-0 pitch to Prado. I love it when he slides that back foot back. There's AJ. And if Bearclaw gets in some hot water, you would expect Ramos to heat up quickly. But Prado slides that back foot, you know, about 3 or 4 inches back on the swing.
Well, that's usually on balls that he hits the other way.
Watch that back foot. That's amazing.
That happens on balls that he hits the other way. He doesn't do it when he pulls it.
Now, see, that's a strike too. That look, it's not an easy job back there, especially for guys like Trinan, whose ball, or Jose, whose ball have a tendency to move and run a bit. That one fouled back, but I think both sides have been the beneficiary or the victim, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah, we talked about Prado staying up the middle. He wasn't trying to stay up the middle of that pitch. He was trying to go to the Metro rail out there. That's where he was trying to go.
There's a lot of people headed in that direction right now, Preston. And so Prado just following along.
Yeah. He tried some back leg action just now.
Another 3-2. They'll pop up behind second. It's caught there by Espinoza. So Kyle Bearclaw gets the call in the ninth, a 4-run lead to protect, and a 5-1 Miami. The presenting sponsor for Miami Marlins baseball from D.C. Bottom of the ninth has arrived. 5-1 Fish. 7 innings, 11 strikeouts for Jose Fernandez. 3 strikeouts in an inning of scoreless relief from David Phelps. And here's Bearclaw, who had yesterday off in that day-night doubleheader. His job is twofold. Get 3 outs and keep AJ Ramos from fully heating up in the bullpen.
Bearclaw has the distinction of being the one guy this year that guys who haven't seen him, they come back the next day and you're standing around the cage, they're like, who is that guy? He is nasty. Nasty slider, good fastball. He's been the talk of a lot of visiting players that the Marlins have faced this year.
You hear that from scouts, you hear it from other broadcasters. Espinoza doing his best to try to hang in there. Ball and a strike. Stephen Drew and then Michael Taylor. And Bearclaw gets strike number 2. The Nationals got the first 2 games of this 4-game series. Friday night, it was the 3 home runs. Heisey, Drew, Harper. Not in that order, but they were all significant. Up the middle and into center, a base hit for Espinosa. Steven Strasburg started in game 1, beat the Fish. AJ Ramos starting to heat up a little more. The Marlins last night, a 7-1 win. And here on top 5-1 in the 9th.
So it'll be a welcome sight for Dusty Baker to get 2 base hits from Espinosa, who's been struggling with the bat. Came into this game hitting .204. 2 at-bats, last 2 at-bats, he hits the ball really hard. Good swings.
This is I don't want to say ticklish or tricky, but this is a spot where you don't really want to mess around. You want to get outs here because you don't want Bryce Harper coming to the plate as the tying or the winning run. You don't want any part of that.
No.
Harper due up 6th this inning. And right now Bearclaw can't find the plates.
Well, look down there in that bullpen. You see old 4-4 warming up.
Lost him.
There he is. It's a good looking number, Rich. 44, by the way, just in case you didn't know that.
Did you wear that your entire career?
Up until the last 2 years, yeah. In Houston, I was number 4, and St. Louis, I was number 3.
So, if you're Don Mattingly, and here he comes, I didn't even have to ask the question. So what he didn't want to have to do was get Ramos up and rolling. But Bearclaw gives up a single to Espinosa, walks Drew on 4 pitches. And if you do the math, you just don't want Bryce Harper coming up with a chance to tie the game or to beat you.
And that's a long walk when you watch the manager if you're Bearclaw, because you know he's coming out there to get you. And you know, you feel bad you didn't get your job done. And
here comes AJ. West Kendall Toyota called to the bullpen. situation turns into a save situation. With the tying run on deck, A.J. Ramos enters. You saw he had a couple of days off, 8 pitches last night. So hopefully that was a tune-up for what is a save spot here. It is a 4-run lead, but the Nationals, in their history, and the Marlins have seen it, a lot of ninth-inning rallies, a lot of walk-off wins in this ballpark, especially over the last 4 or 5 years when they've been postseason contenders. Michael Taylor at the plate. Fastball, a strike. And keep in mind, Daniel Murphy did not start. He was sick and scratched about an hour and a half before the start of game. Ben Revere is on deck, then Rendon, then Harper. So I think the only spot you might see Murphy would be for Revere. There's the box score, the Nationals box score. The 1 run on the board, Zimmerman's inside the park homer when Ozuna and Stanton collided in right center field. And there is Murphy with the bat. Taylor came in a double switch. He's 0-2 to Ramos.
Well, you mentioned the tune-up yesterday. It's always a dicey situation for a manager because you always worry if that tune-up is going to turn into a 25-30 pitch outing.
It's true. The fact that it was 8 pitches, that's a good tune-up. Count stays at 1-2. Ramos on a nice run. 1-2. Just foul. That had trouble written on it as it floated down the line. Miguel Rojas is at first base right now. It was a good pitch, but you never know. A ball like this could end up down in that right field corner.
Yeah, good.
So you saw Murphy in the runway with a bat. Revere's on deck. Then you got Rendon and Harper. Almost hit him. You see the career numbers against Ramos. Not bad, 3 for 8. Two. In the air, foul territory. Prado with room, and he's got it for the first out. That's a nice out to get. And it looks like it's Revere who will take the at-bat. So here's Revere. You saw his numbers, 3 for 8 against Ramos. But you see his season, it has opened on a 4 for 42. Daniel Murphy, by the way, is 3 for 12 with a home run in his career against A.J. Ramos. Rendon is on deck, and then it's Bryce Harper. And I think everybody in this ballpark that's pulling for the Nationals, and just about everybody is thinking to themselves, just get to Harper. And for Ramos, he just needs outs.
Good pitch. I like the action on it. Ball dived down a little bit lower than I thought it was going to, but I like the action on that pitch.
And look who just popped out on deck. I was just about to ask that question. Would Dusty Baker hit Murphy for Rendon?
I mean, you really, it's either Rendon or you hit him for Zimmerman. That's your only options. But I'd say use him when you can. There's no guarantee you're going to get to Zimmerman.
Zimmerman is after Harper. Harper is after what was Rendon, what now apparently is Murphy. And Ramos misses. He's 3-1 now on Revere.
Seen a lot of soft stuff right here in this at bat. I think your mentality's got to be, this guy that's hitting 95, make him swing the bat. Make him put the ball on the bat to do something. I'm not trying to mess around too much with all this off. I'm seeing too many changeups, too many sliders. I'm not worried about giving up a knock. I'm worried about losing this game.
Fastball strike.
So that's got to be the approach. Ben Revere can hit what, a single? That's what he's going to hit. These other guys that are coming up, those are your thumpers. Those are the guys that hit the extra base hits where that carousel really starts going on the bases.
Full count, 1 out, first and second. Miami up 4. Bottom 9. Revere ready. Ramos ready. That is strike 3 called. And just like that, 2 fastballs finish off Revere. Here comes Murphy.
I mean, sometimes we make this game harder than it is, and you just got to realize what's going on out there. Revere's not swinging the bat that well. Make him swing the bat. Throw your fastball. See what happens. He didn't even swing the bat. It's even better.
So here is Murphy, and still, if Murphy knocks one out of the park, the Marlins would still have the lead. Harper is on deck.
In your worst of worst scenarios, now Bryce Harper can only tie the game. That's the worst thing that can happen right now.
Murphy scratched with illness an hour and a half before the start of the game. Pinch hitting here with 2 outs in the 9th. And Ramos out of sorts on that delivery. A 7-game hit streak. Murphy the leading hitter in the National League. Ramos often talks about getting to the mound, and sometimes it takes a hit or a spot like this for the blood to really get flowing. And if it's not flowing now,
yeah.
2-0 coming to Murphy. It's a strike. It's 2-1. Espinoza is the runner at second. Drew at first. Ramos trying to save it in the 9th. It runs out and just missed. There is Harper.
Here it is. Hit it.
3-1. Fastball strike. Right on the black. And let's see if he gets another fastball here. 3-2.
He better.
With 2 outs and Bryce Harper on deck. Ramos ready. Runners on the move. 3-2. In the air. Ozuna. Ball game, and the Marlins win it. They get the split here in Washington, D.C. They survived that collision between Ozuna and Stanton. Jose Fernandez was spectacular on the mound and at the plate, and A.J. Ramos comes in and saves the ball game. The Marlins move back to 3 over 500 and will head to Philadelphia to open up a 3-game series against the Phillies tomorrow night. A great team win and a nice comeback for the Fish that lost the first 2 games of this 4-gamer. 4 games in 45 hours and nothing decided. Nationals got the first 2, Miami the next 2. Marlins Live is next.